What did Russia dig up in Antarctica? And why did they stop digging? What exactly lies hidden beneath 4,000 meters of ice? Today, we'll take you to the end of the Earth, where the unknown begins. As early as 1820, Russian explorer Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen sailed here and saw an endless wall of ice. He thought he had reached the edge of the world, but what he didn't know was that the frozen land before him concealed mysteries far beyond the world's end. Can you imagine it? Beneath hundreds of millions of tons of Antarctic ice lies a mountain range stretching for thousands of kilometers. Transparent fish, their organs clearly visible, glide freely in seawater at -2 degrees Celsius. There's even an ice cavern larger than Switzerland, which has appeared and disappeared over the past 50 years, its secret only recently uncovered by scientists. Today, let's talk about some of the unbelievable wonders of Antarctica that defy common sense. Each one will completely change how you see this frozen land. Let's start with the most mysterious phenomenon, the disappearing ice polynya. It's called the Maud-Rise polynya. It was first discovered in the Weddell Sea between 1974 and 1976. It's like a game of hide and seek. Sometimes it appears suddenly, sometimes it vanishes for years, even changing in size mysteriously. Scientists have studied it for decades without understanding how it forms. Then, between 2016 and 2017, it suddenly exploded in size, covering more than 30,000 square kilometers. For comparison, the entire country of Switzerland is about 41,000 square kilometers. And this massive hole in the ice persisted for several weeks during the freezing winter, the largest and longest-lasting polynya in the Weddell Sea since the 1970s. This finally gave scientists a chance to solve the mystery. To understand it, we must first understand the temper of Antarctic sea ice. In summer, the Antarctic ice cover is at its smallest, about 1 million square kilometers, roughly 5 times the size of Guangdong province. In winter, it expands to 7 million square kilometers, covering about 4% of Earth's surface, like a giant white ceramic tile floating on the sea. Normally, polynyas, open holes in the ice, are formed when strong inland winds blow the sea ice apart. But the Maud-Rise polynyas location is odd. It's not near the coast, it's deep in the open ocean, where ice holes rarely appear. What's more, Antarctic sea ice has been shrinking in recent years, making its appearance even more puzzling. What conditions could create such a persistent giant polynya? To solve this, scientists gathered massive amounts of data, from satellites, drifting sensors, even tracking devices attached to sea animals, and compared them with decades of historical records. Finally, they found the key clue. Between 2016 and 2017, the Weddell Gyre, a massive ocean current, was much stronger than usual. This super-powerful circulation acted like a pump, drawing warm, salty deep-sea water up to the surface. And right beneath the Maud-Rise polynya sits an underwater mountain range called the Weddell Sea Ridge. The strong circulation caused salt to accumulate around the ridge, while spiral winds above amplified the effect, pulling even more saline water upward. Since salt water has a lower freezing point than regular seawater, this allowed the polynya to form and remain unfrozen for weeks. Don't underestimate this phenomenon. It plays a crucial role in Earth's climate. The dense brine formed in the polynya sinks and flows through global oceans like invisible currents, influencing weather patterns worldwide. And the wonders of Antarctica go far beyond what's visible above the ice. Beneath about 3.2 kilometers of ice lie at least 400 subglacial lakes. Scientists first discovered them in the 1970s using radar detection. So far, hundreds of liquid lakes have been confirmed beneath the ice in explored regions. Their origin is tied to Antarctica's ancient history. Tens of millions of years ago, when Antarctica split from the ancient supercontinent Gondwana, these lakes slowly formed. You might wonder, how can water stay liquid under such extreme cold? The answer is simple: pressure. The 3.2 kilometers of ice above exert immense pressure, lowering the freezing point of water. So even at sub-zero temperatures, the water remains liquid. The most famous of these is Lake Vostok, discovered in the 1990s, buried beneath 3.2 kilometers of ice. Scientists attempted to drill down for samples, but have not yet obtained uncontaminated water. Indirect analysis shows the lake's temperature is around -3 degrees Celsius, and it has been sealed off for over 20 million years. Imagine a lake cut off from the world in complete darkness for 20 million years. What could be living there? Another astonishing sight is Lake Whillans. In 2014, scientists made a groundbreaking discovery there. Just 1.6 kilometers beneath the ice, they found a thriving community of microorganisms. These tiny life forms have never seen sunlight or felt fresh air. Instead, they survive by consuming methane and ammonia for energy. This finding shattered the assumption that life cannot exist in extreme cold and inspired new theories about possible life beneath the ice on Mars or other planets. If subglacial lakes are hidden miracles, then the blood falls of McMurdo Dry Valleys are openly eerie. From the Taylor Glacier, a stream of bright red water pours down like blood flowing from an iceberg, 5 stories tall, before merging into Lake Bonny. But fear not, this isn't supernatural. It's pure chemistry. The red water comes from a sealed ancient saltwater lake beneath the glacier. Long ago, it was a normal lake, but when glaciers covered it, the lake became cut off from the atmosphere. Now buried about 400 meters underground, the lake's water has become extremely salty, 3 times saltier than seawater, so it doesn't freeze. It's also rich in iron and completely devoid of oxygen. When the water seeps through cracks in the glacier and meets air and sunlight, the iron oxidizes, essentially rusting, turning the water that deep crimson color. Today, Blood Falls is a famous Antarctic landmark, but its scientific value is even greater. It acts as a time capsule, recording Antarctica's transformation from a warm region to an icy desert. Many think Antarctica is a dead zone, but in truth, it's full of life adapted to extreme conditions. These survivors withstand sub-zero temperatures, intense radiation, and total darkness. The most famous is the Antarctic icefish. Its skin and muscles are almost completely transparent, allowing you to see its heart beating and organs working. To survive in water at -2 degrees Celsius, it evolved antifreeze proteins that attach to ice crystals and prevent them from growing inside its body. Even more amazingly, it has no hemoglobin, the protein that makes our blood red. In other words, its blood is transparent, and it absorbs oxygen directly through its skin. This bizarre adaptation remains a hot topic in biological research. Beyond that, there are dinner plate-sized sea spiders, giant golden-bristled worms, and colossal squid reaching up to 10 meters long, all thriving by turning extreme conditions into survival advantages. The microorganisms living in subglacial lakes survive by breaking down methane, completely independent of sunlight. Though Antarctica is now a frozen wasteland, 50 million years ago it was warm, humid, and even home to tropical rainforests. How do scientists know this? Fossil evidence. They found petrified wood, remains of tropical trees, and fossilized leaves, all direct evidence of ancient rainforests. They've also unearthed fossils of dinosaurs, marine animals, and even beetle wings dating back 14 to 20 million years. The most astonishing discovery: 50-million-year-old sperm cells, preserved inside the eggshell of an extinct worm species. Thanks to Antarctica's freezing environment, they remained intact for eons. All this proves that Antarctica wasn't always frozen. It was once a paradise of life. Some have speculated about ancient civilizations under the Antarctic ice, but there's absolutely no scientific evidence for that. No archaeological findings suggest any civilization ever existed there. Antarctica became an ice sheet long before human civilization arose, and its extreme environment is unsuitable for ancient human survival. These ideas remain purely imaginative speculation. Beneath the Antarctic ice lies another hidden wonder: the invisible Gamburtsev mountain range. It stretches about 1,200 kilometers, with peaks up to 3,000 meters high, roughly 1/3 the height of Mount Everest. Yet it's buried beneath 2,000 to 4,000 meters of ice, unseen by any human eye. It was accidentally discovered in 1958 when scientists noticed unusually thin ice and strange gravity readings in one region. Later, radar and magnetic surveys revealed the outline of the range. Even more incredible, the Gamburtsev Mountains formed around 650 million years ago. Normally, such ancient mountains would have eroded into plains long ago, but these remain perfectly preserved beneath the ice. Scientists believe the frozen mantle beneath Antarctica, hardened by extreme cold, protected the range from erosion. This is still a theory. Further exploration is needed to confirm it. And Antarctica has another hidden talent. It can sing. The star performer is the Ross Ice Shelf, the continent's largest, over 2,000 meters thick and covering 193,000 square kilometers. Scientists discovered its song by accident. Seismic sensors installed to monitor ice movement detected continuous low-frequency vibrations. This is the ice shelf's music. Here's how it works. Wind blowing over the snow dunes on the surface causes them to vibrate, and those vibrations travel through the ice, creating a nearly constant seismic hum. Humans can't hear it, but when converted into audio, it sounds like a deep, resonant chant, like the ice softly humming. More importantly, this ice song serves as an early warning system. Changes in its frequency can signal melting, incoming storms, or cracks forming within the ice. Scientists now continuously monitor these sounds to assess the stability of the ice shelf and predict potential collapses, which can impact sea levels and global climate. So, have you heard of any other Antarctic secrets? Tell me in the comments.